Hello everybody, Caden here today with another episode of our little Prehistoric Kingdom series for the alpha of the game. So yeah, today we're back, and I wasn't, like I said last time, I wasn't really planning on making a big zoo right away, but everyone kind of was suggesting I should do that. So today we're back with the Styracosaurus, which I believe was the most requested animal I got. I think T-Rex was pretty close as well, but a lot of requests also came in for the Styracosaurus, and I'm super happy to do that because this was a really fun exhibit to build. It did take me all day, mostly because I had about like 8 quadrillion failed attempts at building this, and well, not at building this exact exhibit, but trying to come up with a good exhibit design for this animal. And I think I do come up with I think we came up with a really cool one here. You guys will see it in a minute, but yeah, right now, much similar to last episode where we what did we do? Oh, I built like the shelter and the viewing areas ahead of time. This time we're basically building an elevated viewing area for this exhibit beforehand. It's not really elevated much yet, but basically we're gonna dig a trench and build a bit of a lake right next to it. It looks really cool. I guess you'll just have to wait and see, but so I don't sound like a crazy person. But yeah, I decided to try this out today. Mostly because I realized I could, if you turn the walls on their side from the props section, they kind of look like a pathway, and like a boardwalk kind of pathway. And I was like, you know what? Let's try and use this for something. Let's see how this goes. And I also was able to make some all right flagstone stairs using, it's like the third wall, one-third wall or whatever. I guess what, it's like 2 meter high wall. That's what it's called. The 2 meter high wall. And that turned out pretty well, I think. It worked for the most part. And I actually did remember here I could just copy and paste it. However, the game's tools were kind of breaking while I made this, which was not, super enjoyable, but it turns out still really well in the end. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't able to make this thing twice as long because it this turned out to be quite the massive project, and the amount of work I put into this would have certainly, it just would have taken a lot longer if I doubled the size of this thing, but it would have also looked super duper cool. But yeah, here's the pathway. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, visitors obviously wouldn't be able to walk onto this, which is kind of sad. That being said, I've had trouble getting visitors to go anywhere that isn't the entrance of the zoo, so that's kind of something I should probably work on. Speaking of which, now that this is an actual zoo, I should probably work on making an entrance, like an actual nice one, and maybe we'll do that for the next video, or we'll do an exhibit, depending on what you guys want to see. Let me know in the comments down below what you want, and hopefully you can get to work on that. But yeah, there's the stairs I was talking about. I think they turned out pretty well, and they fit perfectly with the pathway, which is really nice. So yeah, I was really happy with that. This build was kind of frustrating because there were several points where the tools were just completely working against me, and it was kind of making me tear my hair out, but at the same time, when it worked really well, and we got some really cool stuff out of it, and I'm really, really happy with how everything's kind of looking with this. Now, I will say, real quick, I worked for about another hour after the time lapse because basically I finished it, and then while I was editing the video, editing the time lapse, making sure everything was like looking good, I basically just realized, you know what, this exhibit really needs a bit of extra like oomph to it. It's missing something. So I went back for another hour and just built while the video was kind of, this time lapse you guys are watching right now was rendering. So yeah, that happened, and I think it looks a lot better. You guys will see obviously at the very end of the video what it looks like, but it's significantly nicer than it was, which I'm really happy about. And here's once again the rotation tools kind of bugging out. It was really weird. Again, this is just like an early access alpha, closed alpha, so it's not going to be perfect, but for the most part this turned out it's working pretty well. Obviously I'm sure these tool issues are going to be fixed in the next couple of months and whatnot as more updates come out to the game. I will say I just realized I built these stairs differently on each side, and you know what, that makes a lot of sense why. I did not even realize that they're different lengths. That's really funny. Yeah, because that went Oh, that's actually kind of hilarious. So you'll see here there are a couple of things I get like one or two into, and then I just realized like I'm gonna have to do this for like 40 minutes to get it to look right, and I just wasn't feeling that. That was gonna take forever, and wasn't super interested in it. But we got some cool looking stuff over here. I was originally gonna have this just be the fence and connect it up to the Styracosaurus this way, but it was looking a bit weird, so you guys will see in a second. Oh, I actually had the Styracosaurus made already. Did I mention this is Styracosaurus' exhibit or not? I don't even remember anymore. Well, people already know. I mean, it was in the thumbnail and the title, so people know. At any rate, what was I saying? I had a bit of trouble kind of figuring out exactly how this exhibit was gonna look vegetation-wise, because I didn't want it to be an exact copy of the last exhibit, but I also kind of didn't want to get this lean too far into a super tropical theme, because that's kind of being saved for a different dinosaur. I won't say exactly which one, but there is a really cool tropical idea I have for one of them. Hopefully it'll turn out really well. Obviously no guarantee necessarily, because my building skills. But yeah, anyway, I was trying to figure out how to make this work over here, so I ended up just blocking it off with rocks and then filling it with the mulch prop block type thing, which ended up working pretty well for the most part. I put a lot of trees back there and kind of blocked this whole area off with rocks, and used it as a bit of a way to transition both the from the Styracosaurus over to the Styracosaurus. And I think it looks really cool in the end. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I don't know, it just felt very zoo-like, and I was really proud of that. But yeah, here's me throwing all this mulch in. Yeah, there were some really weird just tool problems I came across. I mean, part of it could be actual problems with the game, other parts could literally just be me being absolutely incompetent, which is, there's a high chance of that. I don't know, some of the item grouping's a bit weird right now as well. You can't really, it's kind of hard to select something to only be in one group and make sure it's only in one group. I don't know. If you guys have played it, if you guys will have access to the alpha and have been able to play it at all, you kind of understand what I'm talking about, maybe. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, we just threw some plants back here, kind of tried to make it look kind of festive, kind of bright and colorful, you know, as one does. And I don't even remember what I did after this point. Did I continue working on this, or did I go over? Okay, I guess I must. This is probably, I guess, when I start making the actual exhibit. So we do switch out this fence. I don't know. I kind of liked the wire fence initially, and then the more I worked on this exhibit, I realized it's kind of terrible for what I was doing here, at least. And you guys will see what it gets changed to. Again, everything looks a lot better after I spent an extra hour just kind of working on it. Sorry I didn't record it. I don't know. It was kind of like, you know, in the zone, just kind of gonna keep building. Having a lot of fun with these terrain brushes, though. They're a bit oversensitive sometimes, but for the most part, like, I love all the different terrain choices you have. And I think, is it the tropical one I was messing around with? I think, but it has this really cool, like, leaf litter terrain paint, and it's really nice looking. Also, this is attempt number 1 at a potential shelter tent type thing, and then I realized I didn't really want to do this. I wanted to try something else for this exhibit, as I kind of hadn't figured out exactly how to do that yet. Like, I was still, a lot of these early videos, by the way, for if some, you know, and this is months in the future, if someone's watching this, and I guess for anyone watching right now, I'm spending a lot of this time right now just kind of figuring out how the game works, what props can work really well for what, you know, what do I use a lot of, what do I probably not use as much of, so on and so forth. What props do I like using? Obviously, you can tell one of my favorites is those wooden slats. Those are supremely amazing, and I absolutely love using them because they're incredible. Anyway, just kind of chugging along here, placing down some stuff in the pond, making it look a bit nicer, whatnot. I actually really like the lake in this one. I think it turned out pretty well overall. Yeah, so also another thing, again, this gets changed later, but I tried to go really light on the trees and the plants and everything, and now maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys think that this looks better, it having fewer plants and everything, but oh my gosh, it drove me crazy. So when I went back, I may have overdone it slightly, but you know what? I don't care. plants are amazing, and without plants, the exhibits look really boring. So yeah. And I also just didn't feel like microing all the rocks because they were having really weird, annoying issues with placement, and it was bothering me immensely, so yeah. Anyway, just throwing in some cattails around the water. I don't really think there's too much more. We do build a little, like, plant area back here, and now I can actually see why everything looked so weird. We make a little sign as well. But yeah, I don't think I really do too much else I'm going to talk about, so yeah. I tried making a design there. I tried a whole bunch of, or was thinking about a whole bunch of ideas. Basically ended up deciding I didn't want to do any of them because they were going to take a stupid amount of time, and I'm running out of daylight to record this, so yeah. Anyway, I'm going to let the rest of this play out, and I'll catch back up with you guys to show off the final build. All right, everyone, and here we are with the finished exhibit. Now, I spent probably about an extra hour after the time lapse just kind of working on things because I wasn't really happy with how the overall build was looking. And now, now I have to say it's looking just phenomenally better. For a couple of reasons. I did go crazy with the foliage, really just went nuts and made it look a lot nicer. Number two, if we quickly fly over here, I did switch out the fence from that wire one to this wooden one. I think I've still gone a bit overboard with the foliage. In fact, we could probably stand to remove a bit of it around the fences and stuff, just so you can actually see it. But I like that fence way more. Also, if you're wondering why I'm not hitting the key instead of just hitting that button down there, ironically, the button for that is also the record button, and I'm too lazy to go change that in OBS. But anyway, yeah, this is the exhibit, and I really love this. Mostly because I got to try something brand new with this build. Obviously, a lot of the stuff like over here, I mean, that's nothing new. I did also edit these rock walls a bit, make them a bit nicer. And threw in a few more rocks around here. Mostly, again, it was just trees. Also, I built this little shelter here, and I'm actually really happy with it just because it's not over the top or super complicated or anything. It's just a nice little dinosaur shelter, and I really like that. But of course, the star of the show for me is this little viewing area I made, and it was actually a lot of fun to make this. Well, aside from me wanting to tear my hair out working on it, it was a lot of fun to build. And I think it gives this exhibit a really cool look. And I'm very much, again, looking forward to, with the full release, being able to probably do stuff like this, not only with more props and for more dinosaurs, but hopefully with slightly better building tools. Well, not slightly better, basically just like fixed building tools, because there's a couple issues now and again with the building tools that made this very painful to build occasionally. But other than that, it was pretty amazing. And although I'm still not super happy with this side is incredible. And yes, I know it's not centered, and I know the letters are a bit funky in their placement. I'll probably go in and fix that later. Also, for those of you, I'm sure I already mentioned this in the time lapse because I forget I'm doing that. We are going, due to popular request, we will be doing this as a full zoo. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This thing here, basically, if I figured it out, basically, this got copied in with the trees, I think. So I tried to place a tree down, and basically it just created a whole bunch of stuff like this. Okay, it must have, I don't know what happened there, but basically that's fixed now. Also, I got the ceiling plugged in and everything, but yeah, I don't know. I really love this. I know tons and tons of people who are playing this game right now are doing like these very arboreal birchwood forests exhibits and stuff. And honestly, I get why, because it's amazing. And that's probably what we're gonna stick to for the most part. Although I do have a really cool tropical exhibit I'm thinking of doing sometime soon. I would really, really love to do a tropical exhibit. I just haven't figured out exactly how I wanna do it and how I wanna use the terrain tools to my advantage here. I kinda think I would like to do something like this again, but I feel like with how much detail I wanna put into stuff to make it look really nice, making something super big for like a super tropical kind of coastal exhibit, have I been saying tropical? I meant to say coastal exhibit. I don't know, beach exhibit, whatever. But yeah, stuff like this has not worked super well with that, so we'll see if that works out in the future. But I'm gonna quickly look in at some of these. Oh, not you. You're boring. You're a very drab color. I'm sorry for bullying you, Styracosaurus, but you were very boring looking. This one's got some nice colors on it. I'm trying to find. There it is. This one is my favorite, and it's why it's on the thumbnail, because this thing looks so cool. Look at the patterning on the crest there. That is, or the frill. That is, oh, I love it. Probably my favorite of the Ceratops. Well, no. I mean, obviously, the Ceratops. Also, they stopped going through the walls. I don't know why. Apparently, that's just a bug with them. They just phase through existence. And apparently get stuck there. Or there. Or anywhere, because Ceratops is incredible and really fun. I do like, though, that I've kind of got rid of the fence here and replaced it with these boulders. I think that looks really cool and does give a bit more of a natural barrier between the two builds. I think it looks a bit more interesting and fun than the previous one did. Also, I went back through here. I still want to add some rocks in over here, but started putting in, obviously, some actual dividers between exhibits, and I'm gonna start doing that. Basically, we're gonna be redoing all the pathway around the Ceratops, because again, when I made this, I wasn't really planning on there being more than one exhibit, so I didn't really build accounting for that, but now we are, and I think we got some cool stuff. So yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see next episode, be it an Admonosaurus, a Limbeosaurus, a Tarbosaurus, a T-Rex, a Microraptor. Let me know, and hopefully we can do that soon, hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed, and if you're looking forward to seeing more of this, why not like the video or subscribe to keep up to date with any other content we post for this series. So yeah, thank you again for watching. Hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.